Next on Win News, police hunt a man who held up a Launceston service station. A sea urchin population spike takes a toll and hundreds call for kindness at Hobart.
Across Tasmania, this is Win News.
Tonight, a 38-year-old man admits firing shots into a Hobart bar. Police hunt the offender who held up a Launceston service station overnight. And in a major shock, the championship-winning Hobart Chargers cease operation. Good evening, I'm Bruce Roberts. Also tonight, tributes flow for former Glamorgan Spring Bay Mayor and businessman Michael Kent, plus hundreds unite to call for kindness in Hobart. A 38-year-old man has pleaded guilty to firing shots into a bar during Hobart's popular Dark Mofo Festival. The Supreme Court today heard father of three, Wayne William Howlett, was on drugs at the time.
Wayne Howlett was arrested outside Officeworks in Hobart CBD on June 28. It came after a 5-day manhunt for the international powerlifter. However, Justice Porter said while he's happy to accept there was bizarre behaviour on the night in question, he's not prepared to grant a drug treatment order. Howlett has been remanded in custody and the case has been adjourned to February 4. Lucy Braden, Win News.
Police are hunting a man who held up a Launceston service station with a sawn-off rifle in a terrifying robbery overnight. The offender demanded money and cigarettes before fleeing with his haul.
This is the man police are searching for, caught on camera getting out of a dark green sedan and heading towards the business.
At about 11 p.m. last evening, a male person has entered the BP service station on Wellington Street in the Morties complex.
Anyone with information should contact Crime Stoppers. Holly Corbett, Win News.
TT Line has come under scrutiny over the deaths of 16 polo ponies earlier this year during the final day of government business enterprise hearings. It's prompted an animal rights group to call for tighter regulations on animal transport across Bass Strait.
The tragic death of 16 prized ponies on board the Spirit of Tasmania shook the polo community to its core. Ainsley Kosh, Win News.
Tributes are flowing tonight for Tasmanian identity and former Glamorgan Spring Bay Mayor Michael Kent. The 76-year-old died this week after a long and distinguished career in the state's retail industry. Mr Kent was best known for his relentless bid to secure a Tasmanian team in the Australian Football League and leading the campaign to reform shop trading hours.
His commitment to the industry, his commitment to people in the industry, his staff and the skills in the industry across the board are unquestioned.
While new figures have revealed strong growth in retail trade, some businesses say their busiest time of the year has got off to a slow start. And after a tough few years, there's still a long way to go before the tills are full at shops across the state.
With the countdown to Christmas well and truly on, Tasmanians were hitting the shops in the effort to find that perfect gift.
Hundreds have marched to Parliament lawns this afternoon, uniting to call for kindness. The rally was aimed at promoting equality and celebrating those working to make the world a better place.
There is a way forward for us to work together, to be kinder, to think about our differences, to play to our strengths and to make Tasmania the fair place that it really can be.
Dozens of groups participated in the rally, also marking the 20th anniversary of Tasmania's Anti-Discrimination Act. And after the break this Friday night on Win News Tasmania, some of the country's best pulling power on show. And the invasive sea urchin takes a toll on the state's east coast. Fears tonight for the marine environment on Tasmania's east coast after a new survey revealed an explosion in the sea urchin population. Experts say the invasive species poses a significant threat to industry.
While looks can be deceiving, these creatures may be just as destructive as they look. Sea urchins were first discovered in Tasmania in the 1970s, but scientists say climate change has caused the population to spike to more than 18 million.
Launceston City Council's elected representatives will no longer be referred to as aldermen, instead taking on the title of councillor. The change was approved at this week's meeting in a motion moved by Andrea Dawkins. She says the title alderman is a barrier and the change will make council more inclusive. Glenorchy, Clarence and Devonport officials are still referred to as aldermen. Burnie made the switch last month, while Hobart representatives can choose which title they prefer. A Hobart school has become the first in the country to switch on new NBN technology, boasting speeds of up to 1 gigabite a second.
So what we're going to see is our product being taken up hopefully by more schools in Tasmania, and we will continue to talk to other services like police, for example.
Some impressive pulling power will be on show in the state's north this weekend, with around 50 tractors and drivers from across the country firing up at Deloraine. Now in its 7th year, the Tasmanian Tractor Pull Challenge continues to grow.
They may not be as fast as the supercars, but these V8 modified tractors are among the many revving up this weekend.
We have a mix of tractors, of vintage tractors. People like to see that, they'll farm tractors out working. That's where the competition's really at.
More sport now with Amy Duggan, because tractor pulling is a sport, Ames Duggan. Hey, it is. Now, North Melbourne's AFLW team has touched down in Tas.
It sure has, that's right, for its community camp. We'll have details on that shortly. And one of Tasmania's most successful basketball clubs ceases operating following a feud with the state's peak body.
This report brought to you by Ford. Get your year-end bonus now at participating Ford dealers.
Sport tonight. In one of the biggest shocks in Tasmanian sport in recent memory, the Hobart Chargers have announced they'll be ceasing operation despite winning the Seabull Championship just a few months ago. It comes after a dispute with the state's peak basketball body, a war of words erupting between club president David Bartlett and Basketball Tasmania CEO Chris McCoy.
He turned a club on its knees into a Seabull powerhouse, but now David Bartlett's hugely successful empire has come crashing down.
It comes as a devastating blow to announce today that the Hobart Chargers will be ceasing operations.
Brent Costello, Win News.
It's been a tough start for Tasmania on the opening day of its Sheffield Shield match against Queensland at Blunston Arena. Off the back of a solid win against South Australia last week, the Tigers were bowled out for just 167 by the Bulls this afternoon. Matthew Wade was the only Tiger to score over 25 runs. Star Hobart Hurricanes import Smriti Mandana has joined her new teammates ahead of the side's inaugural WBBL clash in Burnie this weekend. Today, players were given a taste of what the Northwest has to offer.
Hoping to taste sweet success, players today toured Cadbury's milk processing plant.
Friday night sport, all done and dusted. Have a great weekend.
You as well. Looking forward to some results as well next week, Amy Duggan. Thank you very much for that. Hayley Francis joins us now to talk about weekend weather. And it's mixed news. Showers will return at the weekend, Hales.
Good evening, Bruce and Amy. That's right, and that's along with some possible thunderstorms for parts 2. I'll have all the details after this short break.
This report brought to you by Mazda. It's all go with 2018 plate clearance on now.
Welcome back. It's been quite a warm day across much of the state, despite grey skies and just a glimpse of sunshine at times. This sensational weather photo tonight is thanks to Paul, and it speaks for itself really, a truly spectacular view. If you have any photos you would like to see on screen, send them through. The address is tasweather@windnetwork.com.au. Taking a look around the state today, King Island topped out at 29 degrees, warmer at Flinders, 23 the high for Wynyard. St Helens maximum was 12 degrees above average, topping out at 33 degrees. Oatlands reached 28 and for Mount Wellington 21 the top. On the satellite and synoptic, a slow-moving high lies over the Tasman Sea, and tomorrow a trough will cross Tasmania before a high over the Bight extends a ridge over the south later in the day. Onto the waters in the north, 1.5 metre seas on a west to northwesterly swell below a metre. For the east, winds up to 20 knots with 2 metre seas. A strong wind warning is current for the northeastern waters. The south will have southwesterly winds with 2.5 metre swells, and in the west, seas will be around 1 metre on a westerly swell. Taking a look at tomorrow's forecast, the far northwest can expect morning thunderstorms. Isolated storms are also possible about eastern and central areas during the afternoon and early evening, along with the chance of large hail. Elsewhere, it will be partly cloudy with the chance of showers. Interstate tomorrow, mostly sunny in Canberra, cloudy in Brisbane, and Adelaide will have a possible shower. And looking ahead back home, Burnie will have a light shower or two over the weekend. Much the same for Launceston as partly cloudy conditions continue, and for Hobart, light showers over the weekend also before some clearer days early next week. So some good conditions for the outdoors aren't too far away, Bruce.
Good news, Hayley. Thank you very much for that. And thanks for your company tonight across Tasmania this Friday, December 7. That is how we saw your news. Have a lovely and a safe weekend. We're looking forward to your company Monday night from 6 o'clock.
This has been a Win News presentation. Win News, Regional Australia's #1 news source.